Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing part 2 if I was in Naruto and had magic. Where we left off, we were about to do the Land of Waves arcs, and let's get right into it. Riku's just walking with Tazuna and the others, waiting for Kakashi to get there, because he, as usual, gets there like 30 minutes late, and Riku's getting mad about this. Even though the Kakashi knows that Riku could kill Kakashi at any time if he really wanted to. Kakashi just gets there, and Riku gets mad and says, "Why were you late?" And Kakashi says one of these super quote like I got delayed helping this old lady or something like that. And so they start the mission, and right after this, and they notice right after a couple minutes later, as they keep walking, they notice. Well, Riku notices, and Kakashi knows there are two puddles and they were in their heads. Two puddles. It hasn't rained in I don't know how long. And Riku's suspicious, and he can sense some presence in there. Without hesitation, he just pulls them out from the jutsu and kills them both. No hesitation, just slices his heads off with his scythe. And they continue with the mission. And Riku notices and senses a presence and throws a kunai real fast, hitting a white rabbit, making Sasuke smirk. And it's like, that being all emo. And he's like, "What did you do?" Rocco's like, "Why did you do that? Why did you kill that rabbit?" And Riku's annoyed by how stupid they are. Riku's like, "Why is there a white rabbit in this type of forest?" And then Riku notices thick fog appearing, and Kakashi says, "Duck." Riku didn't duck; he just moved out of the way. Uh, and and he sees Zabuza standing on top of the executioner blade. Riku runs into the forest, planning a sneak attack, making sure he didn't notice. And because there were 4 people in the team, he didn't think, 3 getting, he didn't want to expect 4. And so, to continue that, and Kakashi starts fighting with Zabuza, and Riku's planning to set up his tag, hoping Kakashi can hold him off. And then Kakashi gets trapped on, water prison, and Riku has no choice but to act. He activates one of his magic spells, making a force field around covering Tazuna and the others. So Zabuza can't hurt them. And then he activates another spell using gravity magic and makes a black hole, sucking Zabuza in, not killing him, just playing it's like the pain, the I forgot the pain thing, where it makes Hulk's made like huge earth, moon stuff like that from the Renegon. It's like that, yeah. And then he gets trapped in there, a small one, and Haku can't even do anything because Zabuza's literally stuck trapped inside a mini planet, and so and Riku just gets his hand and just, makes into a fist and condensing the sphere-shaped ball of rocks and crushing Zabuza, making blood spatter all outside, gushing down from the sphere, making, everyone very uncomfortable. And then Haku, you know, promises that he will kill the person who killed the one person that ever cared about him. And so, because she's tired, because he, used to Sharingan, but like not as tired. He's still tired, not passing out tired. So, Tazuna asks if they need to stay in his house, and so they do. And Kakashi, trains. No, not hold up for, and Inari says, being all saying that he has the worst life, yada yada yada, and then Riku gets mad by this, like, "You arrogant brat! You think you have a bad life?" He was, gonna say this in his head, but he just said it out loud without thinking, and he's like, "Yeah, no choice to continue. Brat, you think you had a bad life? My parents left me, and I was adopted by a family who beat me and treated me bad. And I was at the age of 4. I got kidnapped, taken from taken from the one place I could call home. It was an improvement, but I still had to kill monsters for a living. And says all this, and then Nari is shocked about how someone can have someone even worse life than he had. And Rick was like, when your whole family abandons you and you have no one left, and when you can come to me, when you know there's no one in there in your corner backing you up for anything, you can come to me, and then that's when you can say you have the worst life ever. Or when you see your family murdered right in front of you, that's when you can say that. And so, Riku walks off being annoyed by this kid thinking that he had a bad life. And then he trains, and then he just goes outside training on some of the spells that gets his grimoire out of his pocket dimension and starts reading, seeing what he has to look. He's only like 20%, he's only learned 25% of the spells he has in there. He's nowhere near Power of Blaze, which is stronger than which has the capability to be as strong or stronger than the Sage of Six Pass. And you know, so he charged trains and trains vigorously so he couldn't, be that mad. And he falls asleep because even though he has better physical capabilities and stuff like that, he still has a limit. While this was happening, everyone was doing the same thing they did in Canon, where Kakashi, taught them tree walking and everything practiced happened the same, except Naruto didn't go into the forest meeting Haku. This time it was actually Riku who found him. But this time Haku wasn't all nice and friendly. He was looking for Riku, and when he found him, he didn't hesitate. Riku was still sleeping, and he was about to kill him. He wakes up. Pure instinct just grabs Haku, pulls out his scythe, and just kills him. No hesitation. Purely reflex from the many years of him sleeping and beasts attacking him. He learned how to wake up instantly and attack anything that was coming for him. And so right after that, he walked back, and he heard a group of men were attacking the bridge, and he ran towards them, and he noticed that no one was there. Like, they were all dead. It wasn't real hard for Kakashi to kill them. Zabuza killed him with a kunai in his mouth. Like, so Kakashi, rested up Kakashi could do it no problem. And after that, it was named the Kakashi Bridge. Kakashi did most of the work. So it was the Great Kakashi Bridge. And and Riku's a bit mad that he didn't get to kill anyone. And then he lets out a bit of his bloodlust, making Kakashi a bit nervous. But Riku calms down and says, let's get going back to the village. And they get back there. And and then Kakashi tells them, do you guys want to take part of the tuning exams? Enrico says without hesitation, yes, I would love to be there. And Kakashi's in his head is like, well, that's obvious. He's SSS rated. Even though he's a Genin, he is still SSS rated ninja, technically. And so it's like, but we only need 3 people to say yes to this. And Sakura, being Sakura, says no. And because they only need 3, so Sakura's not gonna participate in this one. And so the week passes by. Riku's learning his jutsus and asks Kakashi if he has any jutsus that he can learn, because he could learn some magic spells, but he really wanted to improve in his jutsus, because he has a lot of magic spells, but not a lot of jutsus, because the only teacher he ever had was Kuruma. Kuruma only knows a couple of jutsus and the basics of being a ninja. So he asks Kakashi. Kakashi teaches him a lot, wondering how can this kid be so powerful even though he doesn't know many jutsus. And so Kakashi teaches almost not all. He teaches them. He asks, "What are your chakra nature?" And Riku responded, "It was fire, lightning, and earth." So Kakashi teaches him mostly, those type of jutsus, like Hentai Jutsu, Water Whip, you know, water bullet, fire bullet, air bullet, something like simple jutsus and some powerful jutsus. Didn't teach him Chidori because he doesn't can use it. But then, but Kakashi tells him why he can't use it. And Riku's like, if I can't use it, if I can't use it as a jutsu, then I'll use it as a spell. So after he says, and right before the test is about to start, he practices trying to make a spell with lightning, and he didn't get it the couple first tries, but after a while he gets it. It's still not as powerful as Kakashi's, but that's acceptable. It is, different color. Riku energy magic is white, so it's whiter than Kakashi's. And so the Chunis begin, and Riku doesn't even get doesn't even get trapped by by Sasuke does. He doesn't have his Sharingan in this one. He never got attacked by Zabuza or Haku. He never gets any of that. It was all because, Riku did it by himself. And so Naruto and Sasuke get trapped in a Genjutsu. Riku doesn't, being, having magical abilities, that doesn't work on him most of the time, unless it's a super powerful Genjutsu like Itachi's. And so he's being and become Riku being smart and all, just like, trust me, don't go in there. And then Rock Lee challenges Riku being first in his class, even though he was only there in 1 year. And says it was like, fine, let's do this outside. They go outside, and they're just doing. And Rock Lee just says only taijutsu though, and Riku's like, okay. He wasn't even planning to use any of the spells on him either way. And they started fighting. Riku was surprised. He didn't think someone at, Genin level could be this, not that strong, but like at that level, He thought Genin were weaker like Sasuke, but this isn't a weak Genin. He could tell that he had some power. And he could tell Rock Lee was, using weights. And so they just go at it. Riku still not knowing a lot of taijutsu, just the more the fight went on, the stronger he got. So he started learning even more taijutsu, and thankfully in the middle of the battle, thank you for teaching me more taijutsu. I'm not very good at taijutsu. And just kept fighting, and by the end of the thing, Rock Lee used almost all his moves, and Riku wasn't even trying to win. He was just trying to, body them, just like take in the hits so he can learn of more of the taijutsu, which could help him later on in his, use. And so, he let Rock Lee win. Not even, if he really wanted to, he could just hit him in the head and kill him, no problem. But he wanted to learn more taijutsu. He didn't want to use just brute strength. So he lets Rock Lee win. It's shocking Naruto and Kakashi. Not Kakashi, I mean Sasuke. And Might Guy saw this, and he's like, wow, I can't believe Rock Lee beat an SSS rated ninja. And then Riku heard this, and then Rock Lee was leaving, and he just pretended, to not be there. And then Rock Lee left, and he got up, seeing my guy was still there, seeing how bad. He wanted to see how bad injured Riku was. He just gets up, no problem at all, says, I let your student win. I want to see what he was capable of. He's not that strong. But I thanked him for teaching me more about taijutsu. I would like to fight you. I want to see what you can offer. My guy says, no thank you. And just, walks like my guy was thinking about it, but he didn't want to hurt the kid, even though he was SSS rated. But he didn't think he was anything that important, he's a kid, but he didn't want to underestimate him either. So my guy's like, you can't do it now. It would waste your energy. Riku accepted this, even though it wouldn't really drain him by anything. So they, and and they were about to be late for the tests, but luckily they weren't. And it was a quick match. It was very quick. They were going super fast. It took less than like 5 minutes, and they hurried back to the test before they were late. And they got there, and Riku was no problem. Uses gravity magic to pick up the papers, making all the papers fall. Cheating because he didn't know most of the answers. He knew like 3 or 4 of the answers, but the rest he had to cheat and use gravity magic to make all the papers, go to the ground, copying the ones, and no one could tell who this was, or if it was. They all thought it was a wind jutsu. Riku placed the blame on someone else, making it seem like they did it, making that kid fail. And so, and Sasuke and Naruto's the same thing. Riku didn't really think needed them to pass. And then Sasuke still cheats, but this time Riku Sasuke doesn't have a Sharingan, making this much more difficult. But he was confident in his abilities, so he had like he knew like 6, 7, 8 of the answers. And so Naruto, being Naruto, didn't know. And then it was about the end of the test, and Naruto just, putting all the faith on the last question, pass. They all pass. And Anku appears in the window. Okay, now it's time for the next part of the exam, the Forest of Death. I think that was it, right? Forest of Death? And, this time Anku was interested in seeing the SSS rated ninja, the Grim Reaper, and she wanted to see what he was made of. So, the thing that Anku did to Naruto, she did it to Riku. Riku, didn't really mind it. He never actually felt any physical contact from a girl before. He was alone for most of his life. So he didn't mind. He didn't really care. Like, it wasn't like she was doing anything, dangerous. So she let her do it what she wanted. If you feel uncomfortable, just said, please don't touch me anymore. And eventually he just said that because Uncle just kept touching and there was a certain point where she just couldn't touch the things that she wanted to. Okay, then so to start, and Uncle explained the rules that I forgot you need to get Earth, and there's 13 Earth scrolls and 13 Heaven scrolls, and you need both of them to pass. And so she explained, and then they go, And so Riku placed tracking magic on a certain team that he saw getting them the Heaven scroll. And so he using his tracking abilities, tracked them using his magic and his phenomenal tracking abilities. And so he just beat them up single-handedly with using his Shadow Clone, because he does know the Shadow Clone. And single-handedly was his only Shadow Clone, using binding magic, binding them with roots from the ground, taking the scroll and knocking them out, making sure they couldn't follow. And so Orochimaru still wants that, takes that league. And Naruto still took that league, and now they have one extra scroll that they didn't need. Now they have one extra scroll that they don't need, which comes in handy if they ever need to give up one of the scrolls. And so they go to the center, and Orochimaru attacks, and Riku just fights Orochimaru and takes off his scythe and using everything he knows. But Orochimaru just didn't seem, to be fazed by this. So Riku's like, I had to go all out. So he summons this huge fireball and just burned almost all the forest. And he used 2 Shadow Clones to take Naruto and Sasuke away from the blast, because Riku won't get hurt. It's his magic. He won't get hurt from this. Unlike, other jutsu that they can still get hurt from it, the magic won't hurt him. And so using binding magic, he binds Orochimaru, and Orochimaru escapes and binding Sasuke. His Shadow Clones, are strong, but not as strong to, defeat Orochimaru. They have 2 of them. Sasuke still got bit in the neck. and and Riku went into this mode. He just started killing. He just went on a killing spree. Well, not killing spree. He got so mad he wanted to kill Orochimaru. Like he wasn't even trying to kill him in the first, but then he got serious. His personalities sort of switched, like I mentioned before, and he didn't pay attention to anything else. He just wanted to find Orochimaru and kill him. And eventually, like before Orochimaru left the Forest of Death, he found him and they started battling again. And he went all he just did everything he knew, but Orochimaru just always seemed to escape. And he even trapped him in ice, and Orochimaru still escaped that. He did everything he could to kill Orochimaru, but he never seemed to die. He decapitated him. He sliced him up into pieces, but he never seemed to die. Angering more and more, and there is no but and making him Riku even more mad, leaving him no choice but to use all his magic power and sealing him. If he can't kill him, he'll seal him in something for all of eternity. So he uses some hand signs, and he seals, not hand signs. He uses some magic that needs some. He needs to say some words. I would tell you the words, but I'm not gonna waste time on that. So he says some words, and in Latin, sealing Orochimaru, but not all of Orochimaru. Half. No, like most of him. And and this made Riku happy that he finally dealt with this snake. Orochimaru was still alive and kicking, and so he went back. Riku went back to the others, find Sasuke unconscious, picked him up, put him over his, shoulder, and just ran, and got to the the center to the thing. And then a couple of days later passed, and everyone goes there. It's time for the preliminaries to start. This time Sakura's not there, so Riku will take place of Sakura fighting Ino, which this was really a conflict to interest, because he had sort of interest with Ino. He didn't want to hurt her. Okay, everything else goes the same, except for the Sasuke fight. Sasuke doesn't have the Sharingan, making it a bit more difficult. And that's it. Everything else happens practically the same. Let's talk about the fight with Riku and Ino. The fight, well, it was a pretty boring fight. Riku didn't want to hurt her. Ino didn't want to do anything. Ino still wanted to pass, so she tried using mind transfer jutsu. And Riku does have sort of two different personalities. One, it was very murderous. The one was gentle and kind. It was a complete opposite. And then she mind transferred into him, and the two started fighting. Like, two personalities just started fighting. One wanted to kill her. The other just wanted to, make her get out of his mind. And just left his mind, not trying to, get hurt. Until she gives up. While she was in his mind, she saw everything that he could have done, killed her, immobilized, mind fire, and all that. So she saw what he was thinking for a brief second, and so she gave up, knowing that if he really wanted to, he could kill her without a second thought, without any real trouble. So she just gives up, and and it was time. Let's talk about Hinata's fight. How Energy, right before everything went up the same, but Neji was about to do the finishing blow, and then Riku, hearing that talent and nothing like that, making, reminding him of his past, how he got beaten by someone of his family, and just released all his bloodlust, making everyone just, making them just, what's the word? Making them just, fall to their knees. Everyone just fell to their knees, feeling that bloodlust. Riku let his other side take over for a while, letting all the bloodlust, everything he learned in those 7 years of not hell, sort of hell, just releasing all the bloodlust he had to release just to survive the monsters in there. Let it all out, making everyone just fall to their knees, and then he just slowly walked up to Neji. Neji was scared to death, knowing that this kid right there could kill him. And Neji just saw his life flash before his eyes, making Neji quit. Like, not quit though, he just, like, said stop. Just, plead, plead. Like, he just said, please don't kill me, please, don't do anything. And Riku just said, I don't really care what you can offer me. I'm going to kill you. But then Kurama talks him down, like, don't do this. This will hurt your reputation. And Rick goes, I don't care. Kurama was like, I won't help you anytime you need it. He was like, I don't need your help. And Kurama was like, you think so? And Rick was just contemplating, and Kurama was able to talk him down, but barely. If Riku was just a bit angry, if he saw that or just a bit more, he would have killed Neji without a second thought. So he sucked in all his bloodlust and just walked away. Healing Hinata, healing Hinata in that moment, healing her with his healing magic, and just walks away. Everything else happens, saying Rock Lee still gets his hand and feet crushed, and yada yada yada. All that happens. The fight between Sasuke and Rock Lee never happened because it already happened with Riku, and let's continue. And it's time for to the 1 month training period, and this is where I want to end it off. This was part 2 to What If I Was in Naruto and had magic. Thank you. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.